All right, team. Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard to our morning note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. You are locked into the GAR Capital YouTube channel. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that like button if you like these videos. Subscribe to our channel. It's free. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Next video will be on Monday, Labor Day. May just do it on Sunday, but it really just depends. Do we like doing it when futures are open on Sunday or on the holiday? Just really depends. So turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. We'll go over the watch list. We'll go over the month in terms of the recap, and we'll preview the upcoming week. Also did a podcast yesterday, a little later than usual. But we're going to be doing another podcast today. Just got to find a good subject to talk about. I'll kind of delve in a little bit into the market, sure, but I'll try to find something to talk about. I'm not trying to fill too much of your time on something that's not worth your time. So I'm pretty sure I'll figure out something. Let's go and get started. April 30th, 2024. It is the end of the month, and crazy month it has been. Futures are green this morning. Dow futures are up 39 points. We were up higher earlier today. Nasdaq futures up 136, up 0.7%. S&P up 0.31%. Remember yesterday S&P literally closed flat on the day. The Russell is up 0.45%. Crude oil is down 1.15%, $75 a barrel. The dollar is up slightly, 101.53, up 0.20%. The VIX is slightly red. Figures with a green stock market at the moment, 0.70 to the downside. Gold is down 0.37% at 25.50 an ounce. $2.10 for gasoline futures. We're getting close to that sub $2 level very, very soon. Remember, guys, seasonally speaking, oil prices, gasoline prices, they fall with demand in the fall and the winter. Remember, summer driving season is about to end. As we get into September, we just are getting the Labor Day weekend, so expect the airlines. I think FAA was talking about this going to be the highest traffic in terms of commercial flying ever. That's a good news, at least. Copper up 0.25%. Maybe we can take a look at some airlines, right? Ahead of the holiday, we'll see. Bitcoin futures are up a quarter point, and Ethereum's down about 0.5%. In Forex land, dollar yen is up 0.40%. That's pretty much it. Core PCE numbers came out today. This is the Federal Reserve's preferred method of inflation reading. PCE price index month over month, July, 0.2% versus 0.1%. So it did hit estimates, but it was higher than the last one. PCE price index year over year, 2.5%, was exactly the same as the previous month. It beat estimates. The core PCE price index month over month, 0.2%. Same as last month, same as expectations. And the core PCE price index year over year, 2.6%. That actually beat estimates. In terms of what's going on today, we have a consumer sentiment report. Seems like we got one every week at this point. 10 a.m. today. And in terms of headlines, what stood out to me? Euro had their CPI number, and that came out to 2.2%. So they already cut their rates. So we're seeing some deceleration in inflation, at least, in terms of at least globally. About time, right? So that's where we are this morning. We're knocking on the door on SPY. That's what I'm going to look at because I have SPY calls still. And guys, this is just chopped since the 16th. We're getting that breakout. We tested it and rejected it. So is this major supply zone? Are we going to double top? That's what I talked about yesterday. Is this over? It depends on how we close today. September is notoriously weak for markets and seasonally speaking. So yeah, we're going to have to see if this double top actually holds up. We got to turn our bear hats on, at least for the month of September into October. It doesn't mean that, guaranteed we're going to fall. But again, seasonally speaking, weakness is coming, at least stock short term. If we don't break out, that's really the key. Look at the support level on dollar. Yes, I was hoping that we get to 100 points or 100.0, but we're bouncing off the weekly MA here. That's what's concerning. And if this bounces, commodities are going to fall and stocks are going to be affected. Crypto is going to fall. Seasonally speaking, crypto is weak in September. So even though we're getting close to all-time highs in the S&P, We're in all-time highs on the Dow. Tech companies, but I'm expecting some weakness in September. There was always the phrase that we would say on Twitter for years now is "Wake me up when September ends." It's a song from Green Day, and it's so true when it comes to markets. So just prepare yourself in September that there's going to be some weakness. That's it. It doesn't mean sell the house, sell everything, sell the kids. No, it's just that prepare that you are looking at the market now as more downside if we don't break out today. That's really the caveat. And again, let's take a look at the Dow together and then we'll answer some questions. So this is the Dow index. This is just the Dow. We know the drill. It's 30 companies, blue chip stocks, weighted all over the place. It's not as tech centric as QQQ, obviously, and it's not as tech heavy as the S&P. So again, depending on how you look at the market, a lot of people still like using the Dow. That's for headline usage for like newspapers back in the day. Listen, it's nice to say Dow Jones all-time highs. Makes that little scroll on the bottom on CNBC nice to look at. So does this look like any kind of weakness ahead of us? Well, Dow Jones again breaking out, but could be possibly a double top as well. So what am I looking at is equal weight S&P. And equal weight S&P to me is breaking out. So any kind of pullback we would get would more than likely be minor and probably concentrated on tech. And we're seeing that with Nvidia. Now Nvidia has to show us they can hold this 20-day moving average. So far it is. We're testing right near 119. I fully expect us to get to right around 122 to 123 and possibly 125. We're just going to stay in range. We have the 50 moving average right around 120.38. More than likely, that will hold up between this level today. I don't expect NVIDIA to absolutely rocket today or anything. That would be nice. But just hold the 20-day. That's what I'm looking for, and test the 50-day or crack above it at 120.95. Again, that's a whole dollar. It's not exactly, oh, what a call. I'm not pointing to the fences saying I'm going to hit a home run. That's just what I think based on NVIDIA. And again, I have SPY calls, and I want to go over that one more time because I want to see it. Okay, we're bouncing a little bit, but man, timing is so difficult when there's chop because I got in on Monday and then took us all on this ride, and we were looking ready to go. Man, we need that. We have good news. NVIDIA's earnings were fine. Yes, good news is around the board, PCE, all that good stuff. And yet we just still can't seem to break out. So again, let the tape dictate what's happening. We'll prepare ourselves for September. This weekend, I'm going to get into more details. Maybe we'll get to watch this on some names to actually look for weakness. I know we're always bullish, but guys, it's a bull market. I mean, I don't want to shorten a bull market either. That's hard. Let's take a look at IWM. Bull flag, like we talked about, breaking. We just need to get above 221.32. I fully expect to move to 222.59. And again, you have your flagpole, flag, and then that's it. We've seen this many times in terms of technical analysis or technical patterns. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. Good morning, all. JJ is talking about SPY. I talked about SPY already this morning. I hope you caught that. Nvidia, again, I talked about we're going to recapture that 50-day moving average. That's what I expect. SPY levels, please. Let's see it. One more time. That 561.48 level, mind you, that's the 161.8 fib, and that's where we kind of rejected before. So you can see that we're just kind of hovering around there. 555 support has held up, but we need more today. I don't care if it reverses at the end of the day. Just get me higher. Very similar to Palantir. I talked about that on the podcast. I think the Palantir calls we did like 2 weeks ago. And that thing was just chop city, pulling your hair out, and then Friday it finally soared. So again, I'm not saying that's the case this time, but we have to see how the movie ends, unfortunately. And it's a shame because the analysis is there. I mean, we're knocking on the door, but it's just been absolutely brutal this week in terms of chop. Just brutal. I mean, the second you want to short, we soar, and the second you want to go long, it reverses. Another day at the races, guys. Let's see. NVIDIA call. Yes. Go to NVIDIA. Now we're starting to see patterns here. But again, remember, this is the breakout. We played this. Remember that? But now we're hitting this downward trend line. And that's worrisome, obviously, big picture. But we're going to take a look here again at the 20-day moving average. Remember, that's our momentum indicator, the 20-day. We're holding on it. We closed above it, thankfully. And now we want to get above the 50-day moving average around 120.30. That would probably be the range today. 117.59 to 120, unless obviously we get some breakout and hell yeah, I'm in. But even with the good PCE numbers, I don't know what's it going to take. And it's the day before Labor Day holiday. Monday, the market's closed, guys. I don't know how many people are leaving the desk early to hit the beach, but I hope they hit the buy button on Wall Street before they do. Let's see. Tesla. Let me see if this. Here we go. Oh, cool. StreamYard is so nice. Look at that. When you guys have questions, I could just type it on the screen. Technology and me. Working on it, guys. You're getting your money's worth here in terms of video production team, obviously. Good morning, Carlos. Tesla. Let's take a look at it. Tesla bouncing off the 200-day. Yes, there is some headlines with Elon Musk. What else is new? That's just kind of the cost of admission. So above the 200-day, at least that's a good sign. Next target is 220.16, but I would wait for 220.16 to break before we do anything. And you're just back in this trend line. And this is a name going into September. If we start breaking below the 200-day, we got some room right down here. Again, I'll go over it on Sunday. We're going to go over the downside scenarios if September's crappy. I'm going to name it that. If September's crappy, what are we looking for? Got to be prepared for anything, right? Let's see. SMCI. Oh, man. Okay, so here's the news on SMCI. We had a bearish report, a short seller report from Hindenburg, who owns a position on it. Owns short position. So again, guys, this is how it works in the market. Rumors, people make analysis, people that are respected make analysis, and people make moves and algos make moves based on what they say. Fair enough. 347.41. That is literally the breakout point. If you do a round trip from there, that's where you're going to go. But you do have some upward gaps to fill. And the trend line keeps going lower. The bar gets lower. So any kind of pop, and if you break out of here, hey, now you're talking about possible reversal. Now you're talking about from 448, let's say if this was the bottom, for example, to around 900. So this stock in itself is more speculative than anything else. Luckily for SMCI, it's getting into a cycle, Fed cycle, which is going to be very supportive of speculation, meaning cheaper rates. So does it mean SMCI is going to soar tomorrow? No. Right now, it's guilty until proven innocent for SMCI. They delayed their 10K filing. Until they do that, until they have their next earnings, it's really just a wait and see approach. If I always say this, if I'm not sure, I don't do anything. And right now, there's so much unknown on SMCI. Trading it would be it just seems like more stressful than it's worth. How's that? All right, Microsoft. All right, Microsoft, we still need 426.71, guys. And you're right above the 200-day. I mean, you're still within this upward channel, guys. Nothing has really changed, but that would be something to watch if September is really bad. Below 400, we're going to short this thing. And I love Microsoft, but this is the market sometimes. September. I really hope September is great, but it's usually bad or not good. Upward trend on TQQQ. TQQQ. Hello. So 65 is support. We've broken below this trend line before and bounced. So looking at TQQ, let me go ahead, take a look at this. Here we go. Levels on TQQ, 73 calls for next week, but just considering moving on. Well, you're bouncing here at 67.96, and it's for when? Next week. So we need to lower the time frame. You're just chopping around at this point. If you break the lows of around 63, fair, but we are still getting a pop on NASDAQ. And I still think, at least in the short term, TQQs can bounce. Today is going to be the day. Either we break out or we have a double top and SPY and TQQ is going to fall. But you can look at the 1 hour downward trend. Can we get above 69? If you're above 69, 73s are definitely in play. Dylan, I think it's worth a hold. The problem is your time is against you. Remember, Monday, the market's closed. So if you get a pop this morning, let's say you're at break even, probably take it ahead of the weekend if you want to be safe. Yeah, Baba just had some news this morning. Baba, listen, guys, I've said the same thing over and over in regards to Chinese stocks. You really don't have control. You don't know the regulations over there. We don't know what could happen regarding communist China. I don't know. So that's, again, take that with a grain of salt. Anytime you're trading this name or any kind of Chinese name, it's beholden to headlines. It's beholden to the Communist Party in China. Anything could happen. I think it's not even worth discussing until you get above 90. If you get above 90, we can talk BABA. But right now, all you got is an upside gap, and this is just absolute disaster zone. There's so many better options out there to trade. It doesn't have to be Alibaba, in my opinion. But thanks for the question, Danielle. Okay, very cool. I mean, I clicked on your comments and it came up on the screen. I love that. I'm going to use that more often. We'll leave it there, guys. I'm going to catch up with the team on the Discord server. Um, we'll be blogging the whole day. And let's see if the end of August gives us a little something. Right now it's showing green, but we saw what happened yesterday. Soared in the morning. I mean, the Dow was up like 480 and then it just reversed on us towards the end of the day at 2 p.m. So, well, we'll see what happens today. I mean, anything is possible at this point. It's just been absolute, horrible price action. But at least August is done today. Thank you for your time, Dylan. Have a great rest of your morning. And I'll catch you guys for the podcast. And make sure to check that out on Spotify. Search GAR Capital. Cheers all.